Hey everyone, it's Jamie Broderick. How are you today? I'm here with special guest Karen Yankovich. We decided to collaborate today because I'm all about establishing credibility, making connections, and increasing your visibility. And one way to do that is with LinkedIn. And if you want a LinkedIn expert, she's sitting here right next to me. Right, Karen?
Yeah, oh, I love this. I love this. Yes, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, so I love to introduce everyone to people who take things a little further than what I teach. So I teach how to do those things on LinkedIn, but I don't do a deep, deep dive like Karen does. So Karen has a three-part free video series coming up that I put in the comments already that you can grab for free, and you can watch that over the next 2 weeks. So if you like what you see today, definitely grab that three-part video series, and you'll get more Karen for free. So it's even better. Yay!
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what, Jamie, one of the reasons why I love collaborating with you is I think that, here's the thing. I really believe that there's no one right or wrong way to do this stuff, right? There's lots of right ways. There's probably a few wrong ways, but there's lots of right ways, right? But I think you and I are similar in that it's really, a big part of it is relationship building, right? Actually getting to know people. There's lots of people that teach LinkedIn, from the perspective of connect to 2,000 people. And then from those 2,000, you might annoy a couple hundred, but that's okay because a couple hundred are going to want this. And then from that, you're going to shake out a few clients. And maybe that works for some people. It just doesn't work for me. So I really like that. I like to take it the other way around, right? I mean, I also love Twitter. I have, a ton of Twitter followers, but I don't know all of those people, right? And I'm not saying that I know every single person I'm connected to on LinkedIn, but I make an attempt to. I make an attempt to really develop relationships there. And that's what brings me in the high paying clients every single time.
That's awesome. Really good. We have a bunch of people on already. I want to say hello to Jill, Rebecca, another Rebecca, Marissa, Amy, Suanne. Hey, everyone. What's going on? This is awesome. If you guys have comments, we will share them. That's how I bribe people to join us, not only with great content and awesome guests, but by saying that if you write some great questions or comments, I will put them up on the screen, and they're there for eternity. So it gives you a little visibility. Who doesn't love 15 seconds of fame, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So in the comments, like I said, is the three-part video series link, which I'm putting up on the screen right now. It's getlinkupnow.com/Jamie. All right. So let's get into the content. And I wrote up an agenda and everything. Check it out, man.
Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
Woohoo.
So here's what I believe. I believe that if you build your credibility, it will increase your connections. As you increase your connections, it builds your visibility. And as you get more visibility, that just circles right back around to building more credibility for you. And it just keeps building on itself until you have more and more impact and you build that great platform and can monetize it. So why don't we talk a little bit about establishing credibility and authority as an expert as it relates to LinkedIn, your topic.
Yeah.
You got a fire tip to share with us?
Oh my gosh, I do. And actually that fire tip is no one is going to tell people that you're better than you are. You have to be the person to do that. You know what I mean? People aren't going to say, "Oh, I bet she's better than she says she is." You have to own it. You have to claim it. You have to use, and the video that's coming out tomorrow in this series, that's what this whole video is about. How to create a LinkedIn profile that positions you as an expert. Why that's so important, right? Because, all the connections in the world, all of the great opportunities in the world can slip through your fingers if you haven't done the work up front to do that positioning. So you've got to do it, even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it makes you a little nauseous when you're writing your profile to say, I'm really great at this. You have to do it, because if you don't, somebody else is going to.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else
is
going to
stand out from the crowd, girl.
You do. And, I like to tell this story. I just recently moved. And, when you move, you need to get new doctors and all this other stuff. So I'm looking for a new dentist. And I go online to find a new dentist. And I've got my healthcare book next to me, and I'm looking for them. And dentists are not known for having great online presence. So I'm checking it out. And I finally find this dentist, and it looks great. I'm seeing all this great stuff about them, great website. And I make an appointment to get my teeth cleaned at this dentist. The worst teeth cleaning I ever had in my entire life. Okay. But the reality is they were the only people that were telling me that they were good, and I believed them.
Hmm.
Right. So if you're a dentist and
Here's
you're
my
listening
point,
to
though.
this,
I would say, first of all, don't put anything up there that's not true.
well, of course. But you know what? I'm sure they think they're good. I'm sure they weren't really lying. They were kind of owning, what they do. I don't want you to put anything up that's not true, but there's lots of other dentists that weren't doing a good job at this, and they didn't get that business, right? Is really the point. So you have got to, I know it's true, right? You have to know it's true.
Yeah. So let's list a couple things that build credibility. When you look at a LinkedIn profile, what jumps out and says, damn, they are an expert, they're an authority, they have credibility? List a few things for everyone.
How about like recommendations and endorsements? Right? Like recommendations, like, listen, if you have testimonials on your website, I love that. But I also know that you handpicked them. I know that you handpicked them. I know that you talk to these people on LinkedIn. If people leave you recommendations on LinkedIn, I can click right through to their profile. I can see if they're credible. I can reach out to them and say, hey, I see you wrote this recommendation for Jamie. Have you worked with her? Because I'm thinking about hiring her. What did you like? What did you not like? And it's powerful for me as a marketer when somebody asks me for referrals to be able to say, just go to my LinkedIn profile. You can reach out to anybody that wrote me a recommendation. You're welcome to reach out to them. That's really good. Powerful, right? And it really positions me. So it's not just me telling you that I'm good. It's me and the 50 people that left me recommendations and the 99 plus people that endorsed me for LinkedIn or LinkedIn strategy or digital marketing or visibility, right? So those are you still can create that, right? You don't have to wait for them. You can create a strategy to develop that. But it's crazy powerful.
Yeah, definitely. The best thing I teach people, I think, is to ask for them, because you're not going to get recommendations and testimonials and endorsements without asking for them.
Absolutely. And it's so easy to do that if you make it a natural part of conversation. If somebody says to you after you work with them, thank you so much, I loved this or I love that, that's your opening. That's when you say, you know what, I'm so glad you loved the work we did together. Would you mind popping over to LinkedIn and popping that in as a recommendation for me? Because that would really help me. If they already love you, they're telling you they love you, they're happy to do that for you, right? So, don't just make it a natural part of conversation when you're closing out with the customer. Even more importantly, when you're doing good stuff in the middle of it, because that's really when a lot of excitement is happening.
Right. When they're happiest, I always say.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So Marissa, our writer, has something to say. So let's show that comment here. Marissa says, yes, the uniquely narrative nature of LinkedIn makes it the perfect format for really expressing your value. You go, girl. That's so true. Yeah. It's not just an online resume, although that is the bare bones of it, but it's, so much more than that. Okay, so beyond recommendations.
Yeah, but Jamie, back to the point about the online resume, if you're not looking for a job, it's not a resume, right? If we're looking for customers, don't write your LinkedIn profile like you're looking for a job, right? So be careful about even thinking about it being a resume at bare bones, because it's only a resume if you're looking for a job.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. Only include things that support the strengths that you want to highlight now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. So besides the great copywriting that we're going to have on our LinkedIn profile and the recommendations and endorsements, what would you say is another thing that's really important to have to build credibility on your profile?
Yeah, I'm going to say, some consistency. And then I'm going to qualify this a little bit, because probably the number one question I get is, I am an accountant by day and a Reiki master by night. How do I put those both on my profile? And you can, because it's the story of you. It's your personal brand, right? But be really consistent with where they intersect. Be really consistent with your strengths, with your skills, and take that all the way back to the beginning of your LinkedIn history, right? You can rewrite your history, not in that you're changing it or that you're making it up, but you're pulling from it the things that are important to you now. I mean, if what you do now is client care related and you worked at McDonald's when you were 18, talk about the customer service that you learned there, right? I mean, I use the example of I was the vice president of a company like 20 years ago, and There was 10 people in the company. So it's not like I had 10 vice presidents. I did everything. I hired people, I fired people, I went out on sales calls. So if what I was doing now was human resource related, I would be talking about that in that job description, but it isn't. I talk about the sales and the marketing. So I've recreated the story of that. I'm not making it up. It's all stuff that I did, but what I'm doing is I'm taking everything I've done from my early history and building up to what I want to be known for now, and just pulling on the skills that were important in those things that support what I'm doing now. So when people scan down it, they're not looking at it going, wait, she hired people here and she did this. Like, find the consistent thread and take it through your whole profile.
Really good. Really good. I love it. All right, let's see what's up next, people. How about build valuable connections and authentic relationships? So we don't want to just blindly like invite everyone on the planet, right? So I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So think about having a LinkedIn network full of people that you were reactive to accepting their connection requests. First of all, it's great when people look to connect with you on LinkedIn because it means your visibility is working. It means that people are seeing you, they're getting to know you, they're knowing that you exist, and they want to know more about you. They want to be connected to you. So it's a beautiful thing when you're getting connection requests from people you don't know. You can still, if you feel icky about it, you can still say no to them. But I think you have to be kind of recognize that as you're stepping into a more visible business, that you've got to be open to be connecting to people that you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you don't really know how to leverage that network because you don't know who all these people are. So think about proactively growing your network. Think about what is happening for you in the next 6 months. Is there something happening? Are you going to a conference? Are you speaking at a conference? Are you, rolling out a new program or a new product? What are you doing in the next 6 months that if you had a LinkedIn network full of people that are the exact right people for that event, whatever it is, you would be, that event would be 2 or 3 or 4 times more lucrative and profitable for you, right? And start connecting with those people now. You don't want to connect with people on Tuesday and then invite them to something on Wednesday, right? You want to think about what you're doing in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and start connecting with those people now. Build yourself a network full of people that could bring you business. And that's, by the way, not all just clients. It could be partners, right? Like if maybe there's people that you could have really great partnerships like Jamie and I do, right? Like who are the people like that can introduce you to all of their clients, right? That can maybe get you more than one new client. So think about who those ideal partners are. Think about who those ideal clients are. Create LinkedIn searches that are as close, as narrowed down as you possibly can get to that ideal client and connect with them consistently, like every single week. Be connecting with people on LinkedIn that are in that network, because then in a few months you are going to have a network full of people that are potential clients for you.
So give us an example of what exactly you search for. So in the search box, for instance, I did this when I was looking for a leadership coach to come to my retreat in New York. I literally just put in the word mindset, and I found speakers and authors, scanned through their profiles, connected with Carolyn, invited her to the retreat, which she rocked, and then she joined my group. So it was like fantastic. But what else? How else would you search for people? Would you use specific words, or how would you do it?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll give you a direct example. I am speaking at the Triple Play Realtor Convention in December, and it's New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania realtors. And I'm doing a couple of workshops there. I'm going to have a booth there, and it's in December. So I'm now connecting with realtors in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, right? And that's the only parameters I really need. However, I will qualify this by saying I use LinkedIn's Premium Service Sales Navigator because it gives me the search that you get in that is so much more powerful. Now you do have to buy that, right? And I don't make any money if you buy that, but it saves me so much time every month that it's worth the $80 a month to me. Because what that does is once I have my search of realtors in those 3 states, I can narrow that search down now by only people that have been active on LinkedIn in the last 30 days. So instead of connecting with 100 realtors, 60 or 70 of which have not been on LinkedIn in 6 months, I'm only connecting with the 30 that I know are active. So it's maximizing my time. Okay. So I'm filling my network full of realtors right now. And I'll probably stop doing that somewhere around July because I want to give it some time. So now I'm connecting with, 20, 30, 100 realtors on a consistent basis. And I'm saying to them, my connection request is, I just came across your profile here on LinkedIn, and I really enjoy being connected to other local business professionals because I'm in New Jersey, right? So they're all local to me. So local is my qualifier. It's personalizing it, but I know every single one of them will fit that because that's and I can stick with just New Jersey if I want, because I'm never going to get to the 3 states. There's thousands and hundreds of thousands of realtors, right? And I don't need them all. So bottom line is I'm connecting with them now with that connection message. And then, I do want to develop relationships with them, but that's not part of your question now, because then what I'm going to do in November is I'm going to go back to search. I'm going to search for my first degree connections that have the title realtor that are in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. And I'm going to message them and I'm going to say, hey, Susie, are you going to be at the Triple Play convention next month? I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a booth. We've been connected here on LinkedIn. We haven't really had a chance to get to know each other. I'd love to meet you in person. Take a selfie, make it really personalized. And now I'm going to go to that conference and I'm going to have coffee dates or with 25 people, which makes that conference so much more valuable for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. They'll be swarming around your booth. People will be like, that's
the plan. Listen, we'll see, right? We'll see. But let me just tell you one other thing. As we talk a little bit about developing relationships, you'll notice too, that LinkedIn now has like that little chat feature like Facebook has. There's a little green dot on somebody if they're live. So if there's people I really want to get to know, I can look and kind of pop in and out of LinkedIn and look to see when they're live and look to actually start to chat with them. So instead of sending them a random 2-paragraph long, are you going to be there, blah, 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 I can wait to see if they're live, still in that search. And then I can just pop in and say, hey, Susie, we've been connected here for a while. We never really got a chance to know each other. I'd love to know more about you. Good chance she's going to respond back to me because she's live on LinkedIn right now. And then we can actually have like a little chat conversation, so much more personal. And that's what I mean about literally developing relationships one at a time, as opposed to throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Really good. Super stealth. Love it. It's awesome. Hello, Lydia and Richard. They're watching. They just said hello to me. Awesome. That's really great. Does anyone have any questions about credibility or connections on LinkedIn? You can type them in the comments and we will see those. And then now we will go to gain attention and become more visible.
Yeah. So
this is the goal, baby.
This is the goal, because here's the thing. Remember, the first part is important, your profile, because the second part, the connecting with all of those really valuable people, you're going to get a higher connection percentage if you've done that first part right. So you've already positioned yourself like you're a rock star. You're now building a network full of people that can be valuable. Now is the fun stuff, right? Now you need to be visible. You need to be posting consistently. And that doesn't mean you have to create blog posts every day. You can share, like, and comment other people's content. That keeps you in the wall. Your goal is to stay in that feed. Okay. Your goal is to stay in that feed, and you can stay in that feed by, like I said, sharing and liking and commenting on things, and not always creating content, right? And think about it like you're at a networking event. You don't walk into an in-person networking event, stick out your hand and say, hey, I'm Karen. You need to buy my LinkedIn program. Like, you don't do that, right? So think of the same thing on LinkedIn. Provide value. You want to, 80, 20, 70, 30, 70 or 80% of what you post should be valuable. Should be, have you guys seen this? Have you guys seen that? I do a whole series of what I call LinkedIn quick tips on LinkedIn. Just a short little video. I use the hashtag LinkedIn quick tip. So they can get aggregated, right? If somebody wants to see all of them, they can click on that hashtag and they can see all those little videos, provide a lot of value. At the end of the video, I do a little call to action. Check out my free LinkedIn workshop at freelinkedinworkshop.com. If you like this, and want more, here's how you can get it. So provide value, provide value, provide value. Make sure you have a call to action. Make sure there's a clear path to what you want people to do next, not just when you're writing content, but also in your profile and things like that. Because this is where it turns into paying clients, right? Get visible. So when somebody says, you know what, I need a yoga teacher in, Philly, your name's going to come up because they're thinking about you all the time because you're in their feed all the time. So be visible that way. Be visible with, use video, use hashtags. LinkedIn has just in the last month really put a lot of emphasis on hashtags, and not everybody even has this feature yet. But now when I go onto LinkedIn, on the left-hand side, it tells me, like, I can follow hashtags. So if I follow a hashtag visibility, or, Jamie could follow a hashtag TEDx talks or something, you'll see posts about that all over the world, and you can engage on that. At the same time, when you're kind of like Instagram, when you're using hashtags in your posts, it's now offering some suggestions, and will bring up your content if it's public, if other people are searching or following those hashtags. So that's brand new, but that's how you get and stay visible. But you've got to have that kick-ass profile, because that's what's going to grab their attention. You want people to, when you meet somebody at a live event, or when you're posting in a group and, really being valuable, when they check out your profile, you want them to go, ooh, I totally want to be connected to this person. And that stems from your profile. Yeah.
So think about it. So everything on LinkedIn is searchable. So you're going to show up, if your profile shows up in high on your Google search, it's not just potential clients and potential strategic partners that search for you online. I work with a lot of media. The first thing a producer does when they're pitched is look you up on Google and find out who you are and see what you're all about online.
Yep.
And if you don't look like a rock star, you don't have that credibility and authority, they're going to move on. They're going to be like, doesn't hold water. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Also, publishers, you're trying to get a book, you got to look great. You got to have a lot of followers, a lot of connections, a great a rockin' profile on multiple platforms. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so you talked about videos really quickly. Michelle McCartan, who has an appointment, so she can't be on live, she was asking about videos. Like I think her question literally was how to share videos on LinkedIn.
So it's not live. It's not live like Facebook Live, but it is. All of a sudden, I got feedback. Do you guys hear that feedback?
No.
Is it just me? You don't hear it? Okay, good. So it's not live like Facebook Live, but but you can upload native video. So there's a video option built into the LinkedIn app, which means you can pick up your phone and open up the LinkedIn app and record a video in it, and then just upload it. And then it uploads the video. Now it's not native. I mean, it's not live, but it's native. If you post like a YouTube link, it's not going to get as much visibility because it's not playing in the feed. Like a native video will be playing in the feed as you scroll. So it catches attention a little bit more. So move in the beginning of your video so people know it's a video. Don't sit there like a statue, right? Yes. Don't sit there like a statue, because then people won't know it's live. It's a video. So, but you can absolutely use it. And like I said, I created a unique hashtag. Other people can use it. If somebody else wants to use LinkedIn Quick Tip, they absolutely can. But so far, I don't think anybody has. If you click on that, it just aggregates all of my tips. So at the end of my video, I say, if you like this video, there's lots more LinkedIn Quick Tips. Just click on the hashtag LinkedIn Quick Tip in the comments. It'll show you all the other ones. And if you want even more, go to freelinkedinworkshop.com or whatever the heck I'm promoting at any given time, and you can get that. So make sure you do that at the end. But the hashtag is kind of fun, like creating your own hashtag, because then you can aggregate the content and the things that you're sharing. And show people how to aggregate it to get you even more visibility. And you can also say, share this with your friends, if you think that they would like this. Share this with your network.
That's awesome. I love it.
And not a lot of people are using video on LinkedIn yet, so it's still standing out. Mm-hmm. Think about yourself as a user. I don't think it's the place for a 20-minute video. I try to keep mine well under 5 minutes. You want to be short, 2-3 minutes if you can.
Right. I think it was Brian Fanzo. He was one of our VIP guests. I think he said when people zig, he zags. So it's a good advice for everybody. Don't just follow the herd, because it's hard to stand out in the herd, right? So Lisa Ament, hey girl, she's watching. So Marissa has another wonderful comment. She says, love it. It's not enough to position yourself as a rock star. You have to act like one and bring the great profile to life with visibility and added value. Yeah, that's right. Sing it, sister. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's your job. It's your job to create that visibility, right? You've got to do the work to create the visibility. You've got to get yourself out there. You've got to be sharing it. Once you've done that great profile, put it in the link in your email signature, put it on your business cards, put it everywhere. Create as much visibility as you can because you've done the hard work, right, to do the great profile. Get it in front of as many people as you can, as many ways as you can. And
if you want fans, a loyal community sharing your things for you, you need to help them first. That's all basic networking 101, right?
Absolutely.
So you share, comment, and engage with them. They're going to help you. Right. How about a quick update on groups? I know this is not on our agenda. However, they keep promising the groups are going to come through the feed because I have a group of, I don't know, hundreds of people, which nobody does anything in because it doesn't show up in the news feed. So no one knows what's happening. So no one bothers. But I hate to just get rid of it.
Well, here's the thing. I know you are absolutely right. I have a couple of groups too, and I try pretty hard to shake up some engagement in them. And, it's not really working, but there's good news and bad news to that. As the group owner, that is definitely not good news because it's not, what are we doing it for, right? What's the value in owning a group for us? But as a marketer, because groups are just frankly pitch fests, you can go to any group and all you just see is people, like I call it drive-by blog posting. They just drop in their blog posts and leave, right? So you scroll through the group and there's blog after blog after blog with no likes and no comments and no shares, nothing, right? Find a group that your ideal clients are hanging out in. Find a group that your ideal partners are hanging out in, and be the person reading and commenting and liking on those posts because you will be the only person doing it, right? So think about this for a second. Don't look for a group with 500,000 people in it because it's just too big. Look for a group with a couple thousand maybe. And then be the person that's going in consistently to that group because chances are you've done the research that most of the people in that group are potential clients for you. Be the person that's sharing and liking and commenting on the posts in that group. Remember, you have a great profile, right? So at some point, people are going to say, who is this Karen chick that keeps commenting all this great stuff on my post? They're going to check out my profile. They're going to want to connect with me because I look like a rock star. And now my ideal clients are initiating connection requests with me, right? So use groups to your advantage and use the fact that nobody's doing anything on them as an advantage to you as a marketer. And this is the kind of stuff, I don't share a ton of stuff and say, your assistant can do this, but this is the kind of stuff you can pay somebody to do if you really wanted to.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. Any other comments or questions, you guys? Let's see. Let me scroll through. Lisa says, good tip. She gives you kudos. Snaps for that, Karen.
All right. Cool.
A lot of hellos. Hello. So last chance to tap Karen's brain here or mine.
Well, can I tell you one more fun thing that a lot of people don't know about on LinkedIn? And this is not something you can do today, but it is something that nobody knows exists. So when you are the one that introduces it, you look like a rock star. LinkedIn has recently rolled out a feature. Now, as a speaker, this is cool for me. There's a feature on the app. If you go to the app and you click My Network, the people at the bottom, you'll see now in the middle on the top, there's an option that says Find Nearby, and it's off. Yeah. You can turn that on, okay? Now, here's the deal with that. Let's say you're in a room, and let's say you're at a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a Women in Business meeting or whatever. You turn that on. Everybody has to do it at the same time because the minute you turn your phone to something else, it goes away. The minute you go to answer a call or open up Facebook or whatever, you're no longer live. But while everybody's live, it'll now start popping up everybody in the room and their LinkedIn profiles. So you can connect with each other. It's just a great way to and it's a fun little activity for live events and live, networking things, or like I said, if you're visible and you're either speaking or you're just at an event where you can get a few minutes of, microphone time, or even just, around the breakfast table. Picture yourself if you're the speaker, right? And you can't sell from the stage and you don't want to sell from the stage. But if you say, listen, here's a really easy way to connect with me. Pick up your phone, do these few things. You're going to need to build in about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes for this because you're going to lose the crowd a little bit while they're doing this. But now you can say, connect with me on LinkedIn. Tell me you saw me here, and I will make sure that you get this free that or this blah, 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 right? But they're connecting with you on LinkedIn. So you have this opportunity now to very naturally follow up with everybody in the room.
That's really good.
That's doing this.
Yeah,
right?
like all your realtors that haven't yet
Yep.
come to your booth, you can see if they actually showed up for the day. So no one's in my house right now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Initially, I thought it was going to be, oh, how cool. If you're at a conference, you can see which other, because it'll tell you if you're connected or not. So
Right.
if you have a LinkedIn connection that happens to be at the conference, that's cool. You can message them and say, hey, we're both at the conference. Let's have coffee. But you can only tell if you both have it on at the same time and you're not doing anything else with your phone. So it needs to be more like an event, like something that you do at an event than something that you can use at an event.
It's awesome. Amy loves it. She says, what a great new feature. I'll
it is. It's so cool. And who knows where it'll go from there. Like, I think they'll expand it beyond that. I've used it 2 times so far. It's so fun. It is so fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Rebecca wants to know, how much time per week do you recommend spending on LinkedIn? So we're not going to talk about how much time Karen spends on LinkedIn because that's her job. But
yeah, here's the thing. I mean, a lot of the work we talked about is upfront. So you've got to do some upfront work. If you take this video series, you're going to learn a lot about some of the upfront work that you need to do. So initially, there's some work to do. You got to get your profile in shape. You've got to do the work and find the searches to find the ideal clients. But as you get better at this, and once you get the engine running, it's just a matter of keeping the ball rolling. Mm-hmm. I would love to say a half hour a few times a week rather than one big chunk of time, because I like to see who's live. I like to see that little green button, who can I chat with? Mm-hmm. So I like to go in for less time more often. But I incorporate it into my day. One of the things I do every single day, almost without fail, is endorse people. I just do these little endorsing binges because it's just providing value. And, think about this. If I messaged 20 people and said, I have a new LinkedIn workshop, you guys should check it out, versus endorsing 20 people and 10 of them thank me for the endorsement, which now starts a conversation with me. And I can reply and say, hey, at some point in the conversation, check out my new workshop. I'm going to have a much higher success rate with that, right? So I like to find reasons to be in and out of there all the time because, frankly, the client getting piece is the number one most important thing in my business.
Right. Yeah. It's not just about spending time working on your profile as you get new media or get new recommendations it's also about the connecting, actively, proactively.
And the actively looking to get, because your goal ultimately is to get on the phone with people. Right. Your goal ultimately is to say, hey, you know what? Let's see. You have 10 minutes. Let's see if maybe there's some collaborating we can do. It's
really good. Yeah, I'm sharing the link to her 3-part free video series, when is the first one come out? Tomorrow morning. Yeah, awesome. That's great. So
it's like Christmas Day, like when I can finally stop shopping. That's how I feel today.
It's really good. Yeah, right. So tomorrow,
nothing I can't. That's it. Whatever's in there is in there. Nothing else. It's done. I can't keep adding to it.
The second one is Monday. Third one's
second one is Sunday, and the third one is Thursday.
Okay. So by the end of next week, you'll have all 3. So
and then we'll be doing a webinar too, which I'll be live on the webinar. So if you have any questions from those videos, you can jump on the webinar and we can brainstorm. I mean, my intention is to. The difference between the videos and the webinar is the webinar, because I'm live, I can screen share. So I can go in and show you things and, show you things. And then I can take questions and, live, and we can brainstorm your exact applications. I can look at your headline, look at your profiles and give you some feedback. So that webinar comes after the video series.
Very cool. So the 3-part series is called How to Magnetize LinkedIn for a Steady Stream of New Clients. Sign me up, girl.
Okay, you're in.
That's awesome.
You're in.
All right, this has been great.
This was fun. Thank you.
Quick question again. Sorry. Yeah. I got to answer everyone's questions. Lydia asks, is it in bad taste to ask connections for a recommendation?
I mean, maybe not, right? It depends on the situation. No, it's definitely not in bad taste if there's a reason for it. If you can give them a reason, if you can say, like, here's the thing. Let's just say let's say I'm speaking at an event and I ask after the event, listen, if you loved this, I'd love a recommendation. Well, maybe they didn't love it because you're not going to resonate with everybody in the room, right? So you need to make sure when you're asking them for a recommendation that they really want to recommend you. But if they say to you in that room, or they say to you somewhere, this was great, I love that, then absolutely you can reach out and ask them for a recommendation. I just think that doing it cold is, you got to be careful because you don't know what they really think, right?
Yeah. So Olivia, are you asking for a recommendation for your profile or asking for this person to recommend you to someone else? So I'm not clear on
that's a
which one.
That's a good point. Yeah, I assumed for your profile, but
for your profile, you would ask people for recommendations who love you and your work, and you freaking rocked it for them. You got them great results. So yeah.
Yeah.
So how often do you do that? So I have a system where every month I'll send out 2 requests or something like that, just to keep it fresh. Do you have a system that you use or recommend?
I have it on my calendar to do it pretty consistently. I ask for recommendations pretty much all the time, after I speak at an event. Because I teach this stuff. So I'm going to show you how I do that. If you liked this conversation that Jamie and I are having right now, I would love it if you went over to LinkedIn and wrote me a recommendation. If you need to practice doing that, I accept all recommendations as your practice, right? So it's easy to do that. But one thing that I do schedule, Jamie, and I got to say I'm not as good as I'd like to be, is I try to write a lot of recommendations because I think that there's some good mojo with that. Write recommendations, especially if it's people, like if there's somebody that should have written you a recommendation, but they haven't, write them a recommendation. And it'll say, would you like to recommend Karen back? So it says that when they get the recommendation. Sometimes you can say yes to that, right? And sometimes you can't. It depends on who it is. I've written I went and got a facial one time, and somehow the topic of LinkedIn came up, and the girl was amazing, and we talked about LinkedIn the whole time, and I saw it was important to her. She's an esthetician. I never know how to say that word. Uh-huh. So I wrote her a LinkedIn recommendation. Now, she's not going to write me one back because she doesn't know what I do, right? Other than that one conversation. But I guess maybe she could have. She could have said, I had Karen laying on my table and got more LinkedIn tips, who knows?
Imagine if you worked with her for months. Yeah.
Right. So just be creative in who you're recommending. I have a client that recommended their doctor, and ended up, when she went for the next visit, he said, I didn't know you were a health coach. And by the time she left, she had a workshop scheduled for all of his patients.
Wow.
So be generous with the recommendations also, and that will come back to you in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Right. When you help other people, do it with true of heart and without expecting anything. But it does kind of knock on their door and remind them. Right. Yeah, it's awesome. Right. Really good. Lydia, I think, is happy with our answers. So
okay, good.
Close that out. All right, cool. Rebecca, I know you're watching the replay, and Rebecca, the other Rebecca C, she got disconnected and her Wi-Fi isn't working. So when you watch the replay, thanks for rejoining, Rebecca. I appreciate it. All right, you guys, I guess we're going to wrap this up. Go online and grab that 3-part video series. Put it up here again. It's also in the comments at the top of the feed. And I will probably download this and post it somewhere, and I'll also include it in an email blast. All right. Yes. Lydia is very happy, she says. Okay.
Yeah. And listen, go to LinkedIn and write, can't wait to see tomorrow's video at getlinkedupnow.com/Jamie. Join me. Right. Yeah. That's helping. That's, it tells your people that you continually invest in your education too, which people like to see that. So social sharing is just win-win-win.
It's awesome. Really good. Yeah. Oh, the first thing I do after an event, or even before the event, if I have the list, is to connect on LinkedIn. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And most people, and you're a speaker, Jamie, people don't do that. Like, I very rarely do I get a connection request before an event that says, oh, I'm registered for this event, I can't wait to see your talk. So if somebody does do that, if you're the person doing that, I am totally going to know who you are. I'm going to be looking for you. I'm going to be looking to connect with you and find out what you thought about it. How, be that person. It makes it so much more valuable.
Oh, yeah. One person did it. I had this amazing event. It was years ago, but it's one of my favorite events ever. It was a media panel. I had Lynn Doyle from Comcast, from It's Your Call with Lynn Doyle, Lou Ann Kahn from NBC, and Jen Fred from Fox. And a moderator was Jen Groover freaking awesome. Rock star panel, right? One person sent a note to the speakers ahead of time, and they like stopped the conference and said, "Where is whoever it was?" And made her stand up and had a conversation with her, found out about her business, got to know her. Oh yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Really.
I do that all the time. I did that recently at an event that I did, and the girl wasn't there. She messaged me and she's like, I'm coming to your event. I can't wait, blah, blah, blah. And then she couldn't make it. And I'm like, where's Susie? And they're like, oh, Susie couldn't make it. I'm like, all right, you just blew my big moment, where I was going to, because I do the same thing. I had a picture of her LinkedIn profile. I had it in my slides. I took the connection request and how she worded it in my slides because it's awesome. And people aren't doing that. Right. Yeah. And remember, how they say, be the person at the microphone, be the person that's visible at all these events. That's another way to do it. Right. And chances are the speakers at the events are the people that maybe have the most influence. Right. So let them know who you are.
Oh, here comes Terry. Hi, Terry. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Terry Yeagle, who did my headshots, by the way. I really appreciate this truthfulness recommendation because so often it seems friends cheering on friends rather than real honest expressions of greatness. Well, I only have great friends, Terry, so. Yeah, you don't want just something that's kind of thin, right? You want some real, like I just hired a virtual assistant. She's been working for me for 1 week. I can't wait to write a recommendation for her. She is amazing.
It's so good to hear. I love that.
Right. Every time I open an email from her, I'm like, wow. Like literally, she makes me say wow, which is always my goal for my clients.
Right. That's awesome. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So let me just say this because I know you guys learn a lot about visibility. I want to help you get more visibility if you help me get more visibility. So if you share that link on your social and tag me, I will share it. I'll retweet it. I have 130,000 Twitter followers. I will share it, which means your name will get in front of my audience. I'll share it on Instagram. I'm at Karen Yankovich across all social, right? So I will help your visibility, right? If you help share this and win-win, right? You will get more followers if if I share your stuff. That's how it works, right? Mm-hmm. So let's support each other here, and and all grow our businesses.
Yeah. # women helping women, and James if he's on. No, and Richard's on too. All right, you guys. I'm gonna wrap this up. This has been great, Karen. I really appreciate it. Again, in the comments is the link to the 3-part video series, and I'll catch you all on the flip side.
All right. Thanks for having me. It was good to meet you all.
Bye.